MPs want people to be compensated for being misled into switching to energy deals which weren't the cheapest on the market. And staying with that, the Energy and Climate Change Committee says that some comparison websites deliberately push people towards deals that they make money from. Hassan reports.
The government has now made it easier than ever to switch and save. Many could save around £200.
They're supposed to give you the cheapest options, but in reality, switching might not mean saving. Because according to MPs, price comparison websites have been duping customers into signing up for deals which earn them commission.
What is most important is that any site user should have the chance to see the full range of tariffs, even those which do not pay a commission, so that the consumer can decide what is in their best interests.
One such website, Compare the Market, said in a statement, "We have never misled customers and are very disappointed by the sensationalist approach of making broad brush accusations against the whole industry." The accusation is that the lowest tariffs aren't always shown as default. Earlier this month, members of the Energy and Climate Committee had strong words for the bosses behind the online comparison sites.
But are you prepared to apologise for your actions in hiding the options available to everyone? Are you prepared to apologise? How do you defend your actions?
The pressure is now on to show all deals to consumers from the start and to pay compensation to customers who've been misled.
They do offer a valuable service, but of course they make money, they make commission, and we need to ensure that that commission isn't driving their behaviour. They need to be upfront, transparent, honest with consumers, give them a good deal.
Our average commission for 2014 was £29.36.
Around £30. Originally around about £22 for a single fuel switch.
It's £23. Our average commission was £22.
This is how much money they make every time a customer switches to a commission-earning deal. MPs want regulator Ofgem to consider requiring them to disclose to customers the amount of commission the sites will receive if they were to switch. Millions of people have saved money using price comparison websites, but unless consumers are convinced that they're definitely getting the cheapest deal, some may go elsewhere. Hassan, Sky News.
Well, let's get more now on this story. I'm joined here by George Frost from the iChoosr's website, which encourages people to switch supplier, and David Elmes, the head of Warwick University's Global Energy MBA programme. David Elmes, to you first of all. So MPs are essentially suggesting that energy price comparison sites should compensate any customers who've not been offered the cheapest deal. Do you think this is a good step forward?
Well, the issue behind here is when you go to a comparison website, what tariffs do you see? And do you see just the tariffs that the website can then take you to sort it out and get paid a commission for? Or should they also show you the other tariffs that they can't connect you to and might be cheaper? And the real question underneath here is if you're going to use a comparison website, you're using a service. You're asking somebody to do some work to find out the cheapest tariff. And is that something that they should be paid for, and that is what they receive in their commission?
But if there's transparency, does it matter whether there's commission or not? If they're clear about what commission they get, people can make an informed choice, can't they?
Well, that's the debate, and that's where there is quite a good point here of saying, well, do they just show you the ones they get tariff from, or do they make it clear that there are other tariffs that you could choose? And so this has already been picked up by the regulator, and new rules come into force at the end of March that say that they will have to be more transparent about showing both the tariffs that they do receive a commission and the tariffs that they don't.
And George Frost, tell us where you come from in this debate, because iChoosr is not a comparison website, is it? It explains to us exactly what it does.
No, we're not price comparison. We organise collective energy switching campaigns. So we gather thousands, tens of thousands of people together and hold an auction, a reverse auction with energy suppliers. And critically, we then go back to our customers and offer them one choice. So they have the choice of the supplier that they're with and the opportunity to move to a new supplier. And in our latest auction, we've got a far more competitive rate than anything available on the open market. So we're taking out all of the noise and the confusion of the different choices, making it very simple and helping people actually do something. Because if you don't do anything, you're paying too much.
Well, yes, and obviously the whole point of this is that people try and get their own price down that they pay, but put pressure on energy companies to reduce their prices overall. But you did used to work for a comparison website, I understand. So what do you make of these suggestions that there's more transparency and that compensation is paid to people if they feel they haven't been offered the lowest price?
Well, first of all, one of the points that is being made is about having whole of market those tariffs which are not available through the site available, and most of the price comparison sites, when I last checked, were doing that. As far as compensation is concerned, well, I think really if people genuinely feel duped and hard done by, then in the first instance they ought to go back to that price comparison service and explain their grievance. But equally, I think people understand that when they are receiving a free service, that the person who is providing that service is getting paid from somewhere.
Well, yes, and David Elmes, there's nothing wrong in itself in getting a commission, is there? If they want to be paid, but people want to know about it, and they want to know how much it is. I mean, how much do these comparison websites get in commission?
It varies, but they get typically about £20 or £30 for each fuel that you change. So if you choose to move both gas and electricity, that's sort of £40 or £60. And the question is, should you have that as a transparent cost on the transaction? But the trouble is, we want people to switch energy providers. We want people to think more about the way they use energy too. And the problem is that they're getting a lot of information. I checked on a comparison website this morning. I was offered 101 tariffs. And so there is this problem of, if you put in these rules about transparency and clarity, all you do is confuse people and disengage people.
Well, then shouldn't the focus be on the energy companies themselves in reducing the number of tariffs on offer?
Well, they already do that. So they're required at the moment to only have 4 tariffs available to everybody. But the problem then is you also sort of stop the ability to bring in new and different tariffs. And also bring in tariffs that aren't just about the cheapest cost for energy, but what if you wanted an extra service such as a maintenance contract for your boiler, or help in using energy more efficiently and so on. So there is a worry that if you just try and limit everything down to a single tariff, then you're stopping people bringing good ideas for using less energy.
So, George Frost, confusing for people because they not just have the choices available to them on the comparison websites, that's a bit mind-boggling. They also have options like yours that they have to contend with as well. There are lots of choice and confusion potentially for customers. Amid all that, is it possible to see that they will end up with a good deal? Will consumers get lower prices in the future, do you think?
Almost any consumer, if they do something about it now, can find a cheaper energy product. So few of us are actually doing anything that, yes, we could all save something, and the route to it is pursuing the channel to switching that you trust and feel comfortable with. We work with councils. They encourage their residents to participate in schemes together. Those people trust the council. They go on to actually switch and make a saving, and 70% of them have not switched before.
And switching brings down prices?
Yes, that's been shown in the recent market review, that if you had switched in the last few years, you probably would have saved about £200 or £300. And so, that is the recommendation to people: is get engaged, try it out, and hopefully you'll save.
Okay, David Elmes and George Frost, thanks both very much indeed for discussing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.